We are back in the onesie because this is what I did when I reached 100 subscribers, and why not do it again when I reached 1,000 subscribers? So we're gonna answer all those questions you have for me in the onesie. Who was your first LARP character? Which character out of the ones you've played was your favorite? Also, do you play D&D? My first LARP character was Ruawynlana Galvain. She was a blacksmith, and she ended up becoming an empress. She was the daughter of the premier weaponsmith family of the Elven lands, which were kind of a deep secret, can only get there unless you know the secret magical way through the Elven territories. She wanted to connect with the humans again because she had heard about them, she was excited about them, and she saw her family's craft dying. Her family had retired from being weaponsmiths and mostly made beautiful kettles, teapots, and fine silverware. She wanted to reunite that fire of what really made her family, so and in a way she was a weapons dealer. Okay, yeah, okay. This is cool. What do you like about your first LARP character? What I loved about my first LARP character was how open I was as a player to maneuver through what was thrown at me. I feel like as we grow in our LARP experiences, sometimes we actually build up bigger expectations about what we want to experience because of that amazing experience and that super growth, because it was so new. We want to keep that new experience, or we have this idea of what we want, and I'm really trying to break out of that right now as I continue to LARP and be a veteran LARPer. Do you play D&D? Yes! That is absolutely the gateway of how I ended up here. But right now I'm playing Scion, which my wife is running that game, and she's doing an amazing job, and I'm having a lot of fun. My other big one that I love playing is 7th Sea. What is the favorite thing, what is that question? What is your favorite thing that you found at a thrift store for LARP or otherwise? That's a hard question to answer. It was a Maya purse. I didn't even know what it was. I just saw it at a thrift store in Santa Monica. I paid $20 for it. They didn't know what they had. I didn't know what it was. It just looked awesome and artistic. It was a piece of art. And then I looked up what it was and found out they are like a super designer purse. And I'm not usually somebody who goes for designer purses. I'm not really somebody who has to have the latest fashion. I just go for what I like. And I love this purse. I took it, it was this hard shell purse with turquoise. It kind of felt very Art Nouveau, and when I looked it up, I actually found out what treasure I found. After that, knew what it was worth, but for years, I didn't do anything with it. I would not sell it because it was so pretty and I loved it, and I enjoyed my piece of art for a long time. My wife and I were in a position where we couldn't afford to go to the destination wedding that her sister was having, and we needed plane tickets at the time, at least. We wanted to lock in. We, at the time, could not even afford plane tickets, and we needed to make sure that we could get there. So, as much as I didn't want to let this art piece go, I knew what it was worth, and I put it up for sale, and I paid for our plane tickets. Do I miss the purse? Yes. Do I have a great story with that purse? Yes. It's a fond memory. Do I have regrets? No. It served me so many ways. There is a tray table that I found that is one of the most useful items that packs so easy and then ends up being, I can host people around it, I can use it to get ready for LARP and camping. It packs so well and looks so cool. If you can find these, I found mine for 20 bucks. If you could design a custom character that would encapsulate what you love in LARP, example, deciding to be an 8-foot troll, what would that character be, or how would you bring it to life? And then if you could take it to a LARP by plane, how would you pack it and send it? That question kind of blew my mind for a second because I never thought I'd be in that kind of situation. Because it does make you think big, but my answer is kind of small. My unfulfilled LARP character dream is to have responsive fairy wings. I have seen the mechanical fairy wings out there. I want fairy wings that actually fold up and expand when you want them to, maybe even almost like the ears that are or were out there that with your emotions would twitch and turn. It would be amazing to have fairy wings that did the same thing. I've been wanting to play fairies all the way, fairies up and down, up day and night, ever since I saw Una from Legend. That was it. That was the open door, that was the floodgates, that was the start of everything fantasy for me. So that's my dream. How would I pack it? Very, very carefully, and I would worry about it all the way on the trip. What has been your most favorite narrative shift that has taken you completely by surprise? I think I'm going to tie that one to Gwestiel because when I started her, I created a servant character. She was a healer and a servant. And she became the head priestess of a god. I had another idea for her, and I kept open to things that were thrown at me via the players and plot. Not to the point where I didn't feel like I owned my character still. I still was able to make decisions that I felt like I owned, and had the biggest character arc that I've ever experienced, I think. What is the easiest project for someone's LARP costume that requires little to no sewing? I would have to say the little sewing, find yourself an oversized button-up shirt, sew it down the middle, up to wherever you feel comfortable on your chest. Put that underneath your doublet, put that underneath your vest, and it's really cheap and easy. My other favorite is the floppy felt hat, and you can either turn that into a pirate hat or a peasant hat. You can dye them, you can stiffen them with glue, you can add feathers to them, you can roughen them up with sandpaper, you can take bleach to them and make them look like they're sun faded. They're really useful. Hats add a lot of character to your LARP characters. Favorite photo of the Scabby Rooster pop-up photo shoot? They all three were so different. I'm gonna choose the vampiric setup, where they had the coffin, the candles, the glowing skulls. May have been what sold it for me. I had the most fun on that set, playing around with the photographer, Garett Hallows. There were like 4 setups within one pop-up setup because it was so well detailed. That's what I think made it the best setup. Garett also is a really amazing photographer. You should go check out his stuff on Instagram. And the next time the Scabby Rooster has a pop-up event, go to them because they're pretty freaking awesome. They also do a bunch of RP on Twitch. Follow the Scabby Rooster on Twitch. The other set and photographer I have to mention is Ceci Hope. I didn't expect to end up on that set because it was a post-apocalyptic set, a very like postmodern world set, and my character was a seafaring troll. When I thought about how would I play with this set, how would this character end up in this world, I thought, what if she was on a ship, crawled through this barrel, and it ended up being a portal into the future, into this post-apocalyptic world? That was a lot of fun. And thank you, Scabby Rooster, for hosting that event. It was a great mixer, and I hope you have a lot more mixers. What are some of the most useful materials that one should look for when thrifting? Whether or not you sew or don't sew, curtains and tablecloths. If you sew, it's a lot of cheap material. That could be fancy material that would cost you like 25 bucks sometimes a yard at a normal fabric store. Not everybody has the downtown fabric district that is LA or New York or San Francisco. Go to thrift stores, get this yardage. It's where you can get the fancy yardage and awesomeness. The other reason why to get curtains and tablecloths is because you can always use that to throw over your out-of-character backpacks, your out-of-character tables, your out-of-character bins that are plastic. I have a whole bin of this. I don't bring all of it to game, but I have it on hand so that if I have an ice chest, or if I know people are going to come into my tent and I want a lot of immersive role play there, I will throw it over my luggage, or I will throw it over that fold-up table that is very modern, and then suddenly, poof, it looks more immersive and awesome. What do I have in mind for the curtains behind me in the video where I said I was doing this QA? Those green curtains are a future tutorial, a very simple tutorial, and I don't want to give away what it is yet, but it is for a tutorial. What got you started crafting? My mom and a lot of curiosity. My mom taught me to sew. My parents let me play with spray paint and sharp things as a kid and hot glue guns. Theater also got me into crafting because you need props, you need costumes, and I'm the kind of person where it's like, okay, we need this thing, let's make it happen. Okay, let's make it, let's do it, let's go. Have you ever found one thing thrifting that was just so fantastic it changed the whole vision of a character? If yes, what was it? Nothing that I have found at a thrift store completely changed a character. What are some LARP groups that you have wanted to try but haven't had the chance to yet? Everything over across the ocean. Everything. Somewhere, one of the LARPs overseas, out of the United States, I want to try. I also want to try East Coast because West Coast and East Coast kind of seem a little bit different of what I want to. I want to try every LARP out there outside of Southern California. I have not been able to get outside of Southern California, and I want to and I need to. It's a matter of travel fees. So if you want to help with that, go over to my Patreon. Looking back at what achievement or change within the LARP community that you are most proud of. When some people have said, you can't book this, you can't do this, you can't make this, I've at least tried. I feel like I've been a part of the growth of immersion in LARP, and I will still attribute that to Davey Krieger, who blew me away my first LARP camper, where he had gotten shot with, I believe, an arrow in a mod that I wasn't on. He actually went into his tent and he changed shirts because his character got shot. That's what really sparked the dedication to immersion, and I've forever since been part of the encouraging people to do what they can to be more immersive. I want to thank you guys for your questions. If you have more, put them down in the comments. I'm not done if you're not done. I'll answer your questions in the comments. And I want to thank you guys so much for all of your support. And before, when I was thinking of starting all of this, hey, how can I help people make LARP more cool? And you guys have been so supportive in that. It makes me want to do more. So, yeah, thank you.